Right, welcome back, my beautiful Super Soul sisters. We've just finished the Facebook Live in the VICKI JANE group, which I hold every Friday at 10 a.m. New Zealand time. I just wanted to just let you know before we get started on today's session, because the reason I'm mentioning it is that that spurred me to do this video, because I haven't addressed this topic before. But I just wanted to let you know that by joining the VICKI JANE Facebook group, that session that I do every Friday is for free. So where normally people pay a large amount of money to come and see me, you can actually get that time for free from me by being in the VICKI JANE group, and it's free to join as well. So you might as well make the most of it. It's only half an hour, so it's not a long thing. And you just direct message me your question, and then I'll answer it. If I have too many, obviously I can't do them all, but I try and get through at least two in a session, in that half-hour session. And it's great because not only it's kind of like the YouTube videos as well, where you can, because it's a video, you can watch it whenever it suits you. So even if you can't make it, listen to the replay, because I share the replay afterwards. So it's free coaching. I mean, hell, make the most of it, right? Okay, so now what came up today was something that I wanted to talk about, which I can't take claim for the actual term, DSD. There's an amazing lady who does this. She's an influencer and she uses this term quite a lot. So if you know who that is, you'll be onto it. DSD, and it stands for do something different. Okay, so they're DSD shoes. Okay, you need to have these. They're different to the flexibility shoes. My flexible shoes are all about needing to shape shift in order to stop, not being rigid. It's that whole, the flexibility shoes are all about maneuvering and identifying that, if I change, if I go with the flow, if I move in a certain way, I'm working with something rather than against something. DSD is when it's really, I use it more for when you're in business itself. So, or it can be, I don't suppose it has to be related just to business, but I normally use the DSD shoes for that, where you've got something and it's not working, and you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, and it's not working, and you're not recognizing it for whatever reason. Okay, that is when you need to pop on your DSD shoes and do something different. So is it Albert Einstein said something about the definition of stupidity is when something, I can't even remember the exact saying, it's something like, we keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. Okay, not really useful. So that was his definition of stupidity. And I honestly, I can get that, because why is it, that we do that? Now, I also learned, and I thought this was great, when I did my NLP training with this awesome lady and another man who ran the outfit, the NLP Association training outfit. They said something once, and I thought, gosh, that really stuck with me. And it was, if you do the same thing over and over, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a better result. You want to do the right thing over and over again. And that's what makes you excellent. And I think that's that little tweak, I was talking about the 2mm shift. Sometimes if you just shift the way that you're thinking, or shift the way that you're doing something, you suddenly go, oh, that totally makes sense. And that did happen for me, because, it's that, it's not doing the same thing over and over and over again. If you're doing the wrong thing over and over and over again, it ain't going to work. And eventually the wheels come off, don't they? So we don't want you going there. So if it's not working, and this is the challenge is, and look, I've had this as well, where you're almost in denial of what's actually going on, because you're especially in business. I've seen so many people do this. We've invested so much. If I just do a little bit more, it's going to change, and they talk about this as well in the arena of, was it in The Secret? I think it might have been in The Secret, that movie, where it's like, you know, it's just about to grow and come out of the soil, and you don't give it enough time to do it. It's different to that. It's one thing about being patient with a gestation period that's required for something to succeed, but it's quite another when you're doing something and you're doing something and you're doing something and you're doing something and you're not getting a result. The writing might be on the wall. And I just don't want folks, especially if you're a mumpreneur or a solo, you know, a lady, a career lady, who, you know, solopreneur, who is doing something and it's not working. That's when you need to put your DSD shoes on. That's when you go, I've got to do something different because this is not working. So it's, you know, it's hard, I've got to tell you, because sometimes one of the DSDs is that you actually have to walk away. And I know that stings. It really stings. I've been there. And I've got to tell you, and I can tell you from experience, I think one of the reasons that kept me going is that I had this belief system in my mind that said, if you give up, it means you failed. Okay. And I did not want to be a failure. So there you go. All right. Now, which Enneagram number is that, people? Woohoo! Okay, you go and do the Enneagram numbers if you haven't actually listened to those videos, and you tell me which one you think that could be. You can direct message me and let me know. Okay, but effectively, it kept me in something that I shouldn't have been in for as long as I was. You know, it was a business concept, just so you know, and it just got harder and harder and harder. And I was, you know, had my flexibility shoes on. I was moving and shape-shifting all around, trying to make it work in all different ways. But at the end of the day, it was I recognized, and this one was a big one, and I'd love to share this, and you take this, please, if you are in a situation, there is more success in walking away than there is in sticking with something. Sometimes that's just how it is, okay? There is more strength in being able to do that than there is in staying in it. If it's not working, you have to do something different. And if that DSD is to get out and do something completely new, then that's what you do, okay? Do it before you lose everything, okay? Don't be one of those people that, you know, they've literally lost the shirt on their back because they just kept on doing the same thing over and over and over again, or they did have some flexibility in there, but they're just not seeing the big thing at the end going, it's not working, not listening to their inner selves going, my intuition is actually telling me, you know, the goosebumpy shoes, it's telling me I'm off grid here. I'm not anywhere aligned. I'm not aligned to who I am. I'm not aligned to this work. I'm not aligned to whatever the relationship, whatever it is that's going on. So you have to then go, I've been flexible. I've tried all these different maneuvers and I'm still not getting the result that I need. Recognize as well that it could be that the strategy isn't working or the systems you're using is not working. So you could be flexible in that arena and try all the different ways. But if it's not working, even after you've done all of that, you've got all the right guidance that you can, you've had all the systems in place. I'm talking about businesses here. If you've got all the strategy in place and it's still not being picked up by the market, walk away. Do the DSD. You've got to do something different. You've got to get out of that before you lose the shirt on your back. But sometimes it's like if something, we are not recognizing that great big, it's like a white, you know, so, you know, like I'm known for pointing out the white elephant in the room. If the white elephant is in the room, mate, you've got to go, okay. And I might actually do a video just on white elephants. Because if you can say, look, is this not happening? Then you can have an honest conversation with yourself, can't you? And the DSD is, do I actually walk away and cut my losses while I can? Or is it that we carry on but then we've got to do something completely different. We've got to absolutely transform the business into something completely different. And that's where you, quite often, when people are so locked in, especially if you're a career lady or whatever, you become so stressed with, I've got to make this work. If you haven't got your emotional resilience toolkit, go get it. Okay. Buy that baby, because if you will be in sympathetic mode, which means that you've got your blinders on, which means that you won't be able to see the way out. You won't be able to see how you can do something differently, because you've got your blinders on. You go like this, you get your tunnel vision, and you think there's only one way. Okay. Now, if that one way is the wrong way, and you go, it doesn't matter how hard you go, it's not going to work, baby. It's just not going to work. Okay. So if we already know you're going on the wrong track, we got to pull back. We've got to drop the blinders off. And how do we do that? With the emotional resilience toolkit. You get on top of your emotions, which means you get on top of your sympathetic nervous system. Okay. So we shift you from sympathetic to parasympathetic mode. You go do like exercises that are relevant to you. So if you are an oversympathetic nervous system drive, and you're like as frustrated as hell, and you're on the curve of the sympathetic, not where you've dropped into collapse mode, you haven't gone into burnout. Okay. If you're in the sympathetic nervous system side, go and do exercises that will burn off some steam. Okay. And then do restorative yin stuff that gives you the balance, so that you can drop those shades that are not working for you, those blinders. You know, when I think of it, I think of those, they use it on racehorses, don't they? The horse blinders, so that they literally, all they can see is that lane. Okay. And I literally have a vision of that's what you land up having when you get into that mode. It's like that's not working, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working, and you narrow your path. And you're going off down this way when actually you need to be going that way. All right. So we've got to get you, pull back, slow down, take these blinders off, slow the horse down, take those blinders off, and go, right, we need to do something different. This path is not working. It's not a case of I've tried everything on that path. I've got new systems. I've got new strategies. I've got whatever it is, and it's still not working. I'm not getting the result, or I'm doing it the wrong way. Okay. If you've got doing it the wrong way, learn what the right ways are. If that's not working, maybe you need to do a big shift and get onto a different path altogether, whether that's walking away from the business or actually transforming it into something completely different and upping it into a whole different realm, different target market. I don't know, but you've got to be able to do that. And this is why it's so important. You've got to understand who you are, how you operate, so that you know, oh, when I get stressed out, I go like this, and I get all tunnel vision. Now you can go, right, I've got my emotional resilience toolkit. I know how to calm myself. When I do this, I then get into creative mode. When I get in creative mode, I'm open. I have opened myself up to the opportunity of being able to do something different and finding what does work, and then model that, and then go after that. Okay. So you do something different so it does work. Okay. Hope you found that useful. If you did, please would you like, share, subscribe. And this is all about you, getting you in your shoes on your path, going your own way. So I hope you enjoyed that. Namaste.